Chelsea Whittington. Before I introduce Chelsea, I want to take a moment to recognize our PNW alumni. Could our PNW alumni please stand and give yourself a hand? Thank you. Thank you for supporting PNW students and programs, and most importantly, thank you for supporting the women in the room, our future leaders. Now I'd like to introduce my friend Chelsea. Chelsea Whittington is a native of Gary, Indiana, and a proud graduate of Westside High School. Howard University and Purdue Northwest. Her career in PR communications spans more than 25 years, having worked in the Peace Corps in Arlington, Virginia, and the office of New York Congressman Charles Rangel, JWA Boys and Girls Club, Lake Area United Way, Horseshoe and Trump Casinos, the Gary Community School Corporation, and Johnson Publishing Company, which is a publisher of Ebony and Jet magazines. In 2009, Chelsea joined the executive team at U.S. Cellular Corporation as a communications manager. There, she managed 4 of the company's public relation firms while promoting the brand of the nation's 6th largest wireless phone company. From 2012 to 2015, Chelsea served in the administration of Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, the city of Gary's first female mayor and the state of Indiana's only female African-American mayor. As the Director of Communications, Chelsea oversaw media relations, crisis communications, special events, branding, and marketing for her hometown, Gary, Indiana. From 2015 to 2019, Chelsea was employed by the Chicago Urban League, where she served as Director of External Affairs and Special Events. She continues to serve as an adjunct professor at Indiana University Northwest, teaching courses in communications, social networking, and special event planning. Since 2015, Chelsea has operated her own PR consulting firm, CWIT, where she develops public relations and social media strategies for clients, as well as presents workshops and training on social media and public speaking. In 2018, she made a big leap into full-time entrepreneurship while expanding her clientele to serving smaller businesses, not-for-profit organizations, and governmental agencies. A longtime member of the Trinity Missionary Baptist Church, Chelsea sings in the choir, is a member of the Geek Squad, assists with social media, and serves as a church hostess. She volunteers for JWA Boys and Girls Clubs, Sojourner Truth House, is a member of the Black Public Relations Society of Chicago, the iHeartMedia Local Advisory Board, and NBC5 Chicago's Community Outreach Board. Whittington resides in Gary with her husband Terrell and their lovable dog, Pepper. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thank you, Katie. I am loving the energy in this room. Please, ladies, give yourselves a round of applause. When I first walked into Alumni Hall, I immediately had flashbacks of being a student here almost 30 years ago. And when I heard the music playing by 702, Where My Girls At, I knew I was in the right place. My girls are here today, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, and congratulations to our students who are here by a special invitation. So let's clap it up for them, and I will be saluting you throughout this presentation. So I also want to begin by thanking my colleague and my friend, Katie Holderby, for this invitation to engage with all of you today. Thank you, Katie. I was so honored and humbled And she'll tell you I'm a responsive individual, so I accepted, as soon as I looked at the calendar and saw it was available, I humbly accepted it. And it's always good to be back home here at dear Purdue Northwest. Now, we talked about the music, and the music is amazing. And the reason the music and the photos are amazing is because there's my classmate, Tina Davis Powell, from DJ Infrared, is my high school buddy. And she is in here, and I want to just say thank you, sis. It's always good to walk in the room and see friendly faces, and I see them across the room, and I want to thank all of my friends for being here today. To the leadership of this amazing institution, Chancellor, congratulations and welcome. To the faculty, staff, visitors, and most of all, the rock stars of this occasion, our young women leaders of Purdue Northwest. Congratulations again. So please know that it is not by chance that you are in this room today. Your purpose and your performance have landed you a seat at the table, and there are many more seats for you to come. March is my favorite month for several reasons. First, it's Women's History Month. It's also when we welcome spring. In fact, today at 10:06 p.m., we will officially welcome spring. A lot of you commented on my green today, and I just felt like it's almost spring. Let's just go ahead and receive it and pop out. But most important, I love March because it is my birth month. Where are my Aries? Any Aries in here today? All right. I'll be turning my next age on March 30th. And while I am no means a staunch follower of the zodiac, it has been said that Aries are natural-born leaders. And so I'll take that credential today and say that I'm qualified today to talk to you a little bit about leadership and sharing some important information as you progress to the next chapters in your exciting lives. So, lessons in leadership. Before we get to that, please allow me to stroll down memory lane right here at good old Purdue Northwest. It was almost 30 years ago that I ventured onto the campus of Purdue Northwest, and it was my very first class in graduate school. I was fresh out of Howard University and relocated back home to Northwest Indiana, and I was excited. And this class in particular was designed for us to explore how to conduct effective research through surveys, focus groups, and other strategies to gather data. You like that, don't you, Dr. Goodnight? It sounds good. And they told us that our overall goal was to add to the body of knowledge. No pressure. I said, okay, I think I can do that. As I gazed around that classroom, I saw people of different ages, genders, races, and surely different reasons for being in the room. Some of them wanted to advance their careers, so they decided to pursue a master's degree. Others had desires to teach and ultimately earn their doctorate degrees. And then there were the people like me. I was simply in love with learning, and I wasn't ready to stop. There were amazing people on campus, like Dr. Lisa Goodnight, like Teresa Carilli, or who could forget Dr. Tom Roach. You'll never get an A in my class. But I did. And that's what really made me want to stay. They loved learning so much, and so did I, so I knew that I was in the right place. So tip number one, true leaders love to learn, and they recognize that learning never stops. So reading, research, listening, and making mistakes are the main ways that I learn. Yes, I said making mistakes. If one knows everything and never makes any mistakes, then where are the lessons? Where's the improvement? Where's the drive to surpass your best and be even greater? So you have to make some mistakes along the way to be the best version of yourself. Can you think of a time when you made a mistake that you thought would just end you, take you out of the end of the world, and it turned out to be the best thing for you? I can. Now, I won't bore you with all the details, but let's just say that when I learned to stop accepting, believing, and receiving what others thought of me, then the confident leader that I knew I could be started to emerge. I want to say that again for the people in the back. When I stopped accepting, believing, and catering to what others thought of me, then the true leader in me began to emerge. So as I continued to fall in love with learning, I also sought to learn more about myself, who I wanted to become, and how to tell my own story. And it didn't hurt that I was a public relations major. Ladies, remember, it's your narrative, it's your journey. No one else gets the privilege of being you. Be at the right place at the right time with the right attitude, ready to go to work. These were the words we had to say every day in first grade in Mrs. Averett's class. And I still live by those words today. Being at the right place at the right time with the right attitude can only make you successful when you are ready to go to work. And they are the words that true leaders live by. We put in the work and we bring our A-game mindset every day. Now notice I said A-game mindset because every day won't necessarily be an A-game. But if you have the mindset to be the best, then everything else will fall in place right behind that. Okay, men in the room, it's time for you to cover your ears. We've been told over and over and over that as women, we have to work twice as hard, and in other places and spaces, we must work even harder because of race, beliefs, or whatever else makes us different, right? While in many cases this might be true, why not work twice as hard because you simply want to be the best, not just because you're a woman? And you know that it's in you. Ladies, you are at this luncheon today because someone recognized your skills, they recognized your attributes, they recognized your hunger, your drive, and every time you think about giving up, I want you to come back to this moment right here and think about how leadership dwells in you. It's in me. Say that with me. It's in me. That leader is inside of you, and we are just ready for her to emerge, and I see it. I see you all across the room. Now, you being a leader is, again, something that no one can take away from you, and that's your second lesson in leadership. It's in me. And you have to reconfirm that every day, knowing that when you open your eyes and your feet hit the floor and you stop and you look in the mirror, you say to yourself, it's in me. Excellence is in me. Leadership is in me. Greatness is in me. And I will make today the best day ever. Now, today's final lesson in leadership comes from Michael Jordan. Okay, so men, you can unplug your ears now. Michael Jordan, of course, was one of the greatest basketball players to ever walk this earth. And he once said, earn your leadership every day. Earn your leadership every day. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, for me, it means not relying on what I've done in the past, but looking for other ways moving forward to get things done, working smart, and creating opportunities not only for me, but for those who are around me. As phenomenal as Michael Jordan was, even he knew it was the combined effort of the team that sealed the victory. He couldn't play all 5 positions, and a true leader recognizes that. Earn your leadership every day. As the team captain, he led by example. He showed up for practice early. He definitely stayed late, and he recognized the potential in his teammates and pushed them to be their best. Now, he wasn't always the nicest in his delivery, and they always didn't like what he had to say, but ultimately, he was Michael Jordan. He knew how to get it done, and they followed him, for he was an amazing leader. He knew what it took to win, and so do all of you. It takes hard work. And now to my budding young leaders in this room. Are you ready to love learning forever? Embrace the leader in you and earn your leadership every day? I feel that energy in this room, and I see your hunger, and I will be the first to say, and you can coin this, Chancellor, Purdue Northwest is putting out the best. I can tell just by the conversations that I've been having since I entered this room. There's Emma, and there's Raquel over here at the table. Did I say your name right?
Yes.
Just talking about their ambitions and their goals, and I know our future is in good hands. And we, I'll speak for us more seasoned members in the room, we look forward to you taking our places in leadership so that we can ride off into the sunset of retirement. Welcome. As I prepare to take my seat, there are some other things that I want to share with you about what true leaders do. I have an amazing public relations assistant who was unable to join us today, but she's typically, if you know me and you know my firm, she's with me all the time, but she had an emergency where she couldn't join us today. And when she told me she couldn't make it, at first I said, well, I'll just take this part out of the speech, and then I thought about, she's earned these words, so why not? So here's what I was gonna say. Stand up, Amber. Amber's not here. But Amber is my PR assistant and my mentee. And although she's not here today, I specifically wanted her to know how much of an emerging leader that she is. But more important, it's her hunger for greatness that has gotten her this far. Rather than spend her senior year in high school during spring break with friends or traveling or relaxing around the house, she called City Hall, Gary City Hall, where I was working. And she asked, could she shadow me for the week as Director of Communications? And I said, okay. She's hungry. Come on up to City Hall and you can follow me around, and it's kind of busy, so just put your gym shoes on and let's get moving. At that time, as you heard in my bio, the mayor was Karen Freeman Wilson, the first female African-American mayor in the state of Indiana. So we were in an administration that was making history. And I wanted Amber to see what history looked like, and more important, what great leadership looks like. So when I said she's hungry, let me see if she's cut out for this kind of work. For my marketing and PR and communications majors, I will tell you, it's not easy work. It's fun work, but it is not easy, and it is nonstop, but totally well worth it. So here we are, 11 years later, and Amber is still on my team. She's completed one degree and poised to complete another, and has become one of the finest young leaders in Northwest Indiana. So shout out to you, Amber, if you're watching. She was a shy, soft-spoken individual who blossomed into a young, confident woman who has found her voice, and she knows that leadership is in her too. And now I want to thank you and thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to pour a few lessons of leadership into you. After all, that's what leaders do. We share our knowledge and we share the credit. So, as I get ready to take my seat, I have a few quick tips around leadership, and I hope that you will take each and every one of these to heart. Number one, leaders own up to their mistakes, and they are quick to take the blame. We don't point fingers and say somebody else should have done it or it's somebody else's fault. even if that's the case, true leaders stand up and own the situation and own up to any mistakes made and work hard to correct those mistakes going forward. Number 2, true leaders don't wait for things to happen to them. We make it happen. I'll say that again. True leaders don't wait for things to happen to them. We make things happen. We solve the problems. We foresee what the problems are and already have a solution before those problems come down the pipe. Number 3, great leaders have mentors. As I've mentioned mine so many times in so many rooms, my great mentor is none other than former Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, former Lieutenant Governor Karen Freeman Wilson, Chicago Urban League President and CEO Karen Freeman Wilson. Not only did she teach me how to be a great leader, but she also taught me how to give back. In the spaces and places we would go as mayor, there wasn't a time where she wasn't willing to make a donation, write a check, open her calendar to give counsel to those who are coming behind her as leaders. And that's exactly what I have sought to do in my career as well. So Mayor Karen, if you're watching, thank you for being an amazing mentor. Number 4, here's a quote that I found that I thought was very, very telling. To lead the orchestra, one must turn their back on the crowd. I'll let that sink in. To lead the orchestra, one must turn their back on the crowd. That means that you have to block out all of the noise of the general crowd, the naysayers, the haters, those who are saying that you can't achieve what you have set out to do. You have to turn your back on them and lead. And last but not least, give yourselves grace. You are not perfect. You will not always hit the mark. You will not always live up to the potential of what others think you should be. But you must, in all things, give yourself grace. I will leave you with the final few stanzas of a poem that I wrote more than 25 years ago for my students at the Boys and Girls Club. As leaders, you'll be making some difficult choices. And people will come from all directions trying to deter you from your destiny. And here is the part of my poem, What Will You Choose?, that addresses this. I've heard all you said, and the verdict is in. An inside look is where I'll begin. Thinking for myself and leading the pack, deep consideration before I act. They say that women are a dying breed, but I'll stand firm and make sure I succeed. What will I choose? What will I choose? I choose life. One that's pure and also good, helping out folks in my neighborhood, education, and a knowledge of my past. A legacy I'll leave to last and last. And so I extend the challenge to you to dream a dream and see it through. Take time to help another along the way. And in the end, you'll proudly say, I chose. Choose to be a great leader. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm Chelsea Whittington. PNW!
So much. That was absolutely motivating and beautiful. I didn't get to hear last year, so this was like